Hello and welcome. Kerry here from Healing Humanity, Power of a Proper Human Diet. And today I'm thankful, grateful, blessed. We have our Thursday night Carnivore Q&A. We're going to do some giveaways. We have all of these awesome individuals joining me tonight. Adam at Carnivore Today.
Hello.
Ashley at Carnivore Brothers.
Hey, everybody.
Lynn at Midlife Carnivore.
Hello.
The real Dr. Nelson. And we've got Renee at Eating Meat to Walk. How you guys doing?
Great.
Doing
Fantastic.
great.
Ready to jump into some questions.
Yeah, if you have questions, we're going to do some giveaways here. Why don't we announce that right away? Let's see here. We're going to give away, to start off, a Healing Humanity shirt. So if you post your best question right now, fire up the chat, hashtag ribeye, with any question you have about Carnivore or the documentary or anything. We'll do our best to answer it. So hashtag ribeye. And in order to win, you have to follow this here. Make sure you subscribe to each of the hosts you see here on the screen, and all of them are listed in the description. It takes like 2 seconds. You just click and hit subscribe to each one, and then use hashtag ribeye with your best question. And let me
in the
see
lower
here.
48.
In the lower 48. And before we jump into that, I see people are still jumping on. We got to do a quick announcement. Ashley, would you mind helping me with a quick announcement? We got some meetups coming up, don't we?
Sure. Yeah. Big one coming up. And I'm so excited about this next one in Tennessee with Dr. Barry himself, Yuma, Tennessee, April 13th. And I know folks make plans kind of last minute and try and get the tickets, but the tickets are selling quickly. So please, if you plan on going, get your tickets, because I have a very strong feeling with Dr. Barry, Dr. Kiltz, Dr. Nelson, Dante, of course, Kerry, Emma, Adam. I mean, what a lineup. Coach Lisa. It's going to be incredible. So those tickets will sell out. So please make sure you go to healinghumanity.movie/events, and you can get your tickets there. It's going to be incredible. It really is. We've got an incredible venue and a lot of extra time for just a meet and greet and hanging out. And it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be something special. I don't know. These meetups are turning into somewhat of a movement. It's been really, really inspiring. Sure. And we got another one in May in Ontario, Canada.
Coming to Canada. Yeah, that's awesome. And your wife, Jen, has been amazing helping put that together with Dwight Garlow. Just an incredible opportunity to be out there at a cool venue there. And I know the VIP tickets have already sold out for that one for the ultimate VIPs, but there's still some VIPs left for the main portion of the meetup, and then plenty of tickets available for that one. That's going to be a really, really cool event as well. First time Healing Humanity is coming to Canada. So super excited.
Yeah. I'm excited, and you can see there, Dwight's going to be there. Ronnie Campbell, she's become a good friend. She was diagnosed with stage 4 terminal cancer. She's been in remission for many years, and I just spoke with her this morning, and she had another cancer scan, and it came back all clear,
awesome.
Which was amazing to hear. So we've got that. We got other meetups coming up in Seattle,
Washington. That's going to be in June. So I believe that's June 7th. And that's a really exciting one, too. I'm excited about that one. We're going to be in Seattle area, so really close to the coast. We've got a theater reserved for that one where we'll be doing the first portion. And this is a 2-portion event where we've got a theater reserved. We'll be doing the meetup and the speakers and the behind-the-scenes documentary information and all that's going on. And then we're going to go over to a park and just have a big cookout and enjoy on the beach there, on the ocean. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a great time with that and just a great time to hang out with fellow carnivores.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So big meetups coming up. So post your best question with hashtag ribeye. We're going to do a drawing in just a little bit for that shirt. We're going to be doing some other giveaways. And what do we say? Should we jump into some questions? Let's see what we have here. We have a question from Melissa Willis, 90-day carnivore. Glucose 90s, but not getting into ketosis, 0.4, even after 16/8 fasting, ?
Dr. Nelson, what do you think?
A couple of strategies you can use. narrowing a little bit more the window, maybe going to 18.6, playing a little bit with the macros, a little bit more fat, a little bit less protein. Uh, those will those things will produce more ketones. I don't know where you are. It says 90 days carnivore. I don't know if you have done already any fasting, but throwing in some fasting is a quick way sometimes to increase ketones. I don't recommend you straight go to fasting if you haven't done it. But the 1 day fasting is not. I don't think it's hard. Uh, all those things should increase your ketones. The other thing is, why do you want your ketones much higher? Some not everybody needs to be in ketosis, and certainly not all the time. If you have specific needs like healing anything brain related, whether it's any neurological or mental health issues, or you're dealing with cancer, uh, then yes, you might need to absolutely be in ketosis, but not everybody needs to be in absolute ketosis all the time. And sometimes we keep tracking and get obsessed over that. Just you might not need to. My message.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Nelson. Here's a fun question. What is your most favorite non-beef food to eat?
That
I
was
can
easy
do
for
it.
me.
Yeah,
Bacon.
that one's easy for me. Bacon. I'll have a non-bacon answer because bacon is probably all of our, maybe all of our bacon and eggs or something. I have a fish answer. And if you're okay with like French's mustard, which is, it's not, is a plant, but for me, I'm okay with it because it's low histamine and zero carbs. I get the big things, the fillets of salmon from Costco, and season it with salt, and then I put French's mustard, a layer over it, and then the Italian herb pork rind panko, the grind pork rinds, and coat that like you would with breadcrumbs, but it's not breadcrumbs, and bake it in the oven 350 for 30 minutes, and it's amazing. It's like a treat.
Nice.
Mine is also salmon, but I buy the same thing in Sam's, put it in the freezer for 30 days, then defrost it, cut it up in pieces. I eat it as sashimi. In other words, where it's raw with salt. Sometimes I might put a little bit of hot sauce on it, but yeah.
Sounds great. Our family loves shrimp. So shrimp's one of our go-tos as well. We're a shrimp and lots of butter.
I'm with you on the shrimp.
Yeah. What about you, Kerry?
Bacon was the go-to, but it's funny, everyone's mentioning salmon. One of the best meals I've had over the last 2 years was salmon in Alaska that was fresh, like just right out of a river. It was so good, so good.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a question from Chris. Does carnivore help the bone marrow to produce new cells?
Ooh, do we know for sure anything on that level? I mean, I would assume if it does help your mitochondria on a cellular level, which it's been reported that it does, I don't know why it would not help when it comes to bone marrow. Any thoughts on that, Dr. Nelson?
Absolutely. Yeah. Now I haven't read any studies showing that that's an effect, but just because of the whole way of eating and what you're not eating, you're certainly improving. It seems every function of your body. So I wouldn't doubt that
Our cells regenerate. I mean, all head to toe. I mean, our cells do regenerate. They die off, and new ones are come about. And if you're starting to give yourself good food and not give yourself the toxins, I would imagine you're going to produce higher quality cells from head to toe. And there's a lot of toxins out there that we're exposed to that can actually cause genetic DNA damage. I was reading the other day about one. It's like, really? It's just something that's just common in food.
And I don't know if he has any specific problem with that, and it's been seen a hematologist, but our bone marrow is constantly producing new cells, the same as autophagy is happening in your body all the time. When we talk about fasting, increasing autophagy is precisely that, increasing, because it's always happening. Our red blood cells are turning over about every 90 days, our skin, everything in our body. But when we increase mitochondrial function, and everything, it's like a brand new car revving to go.
Good stuff. Before I go to the next question, I just want to do a quick shout out. I don't know if you guys saw this today. It was pretty awesome. Our good friend, Old Guy Carnivore Mitch, back to live streaming today. So everyone go leave him a comment, give him some love. It was really great to see him getting back in the swing of things.
And by the way, Dr. Kill sends his love, but he's probably at 41,000 feet right now, so he couldn't be here.
Up there watching a movie?
You go your killed self today.
All right. Target Prime Rib. Thomas, driving for the first time tonight in 3 years. Wow. You stop at the red light. I think that's the question. Yes, you do stop at the red light.
Yeah, good.
unless you're carnivore, you can just disregard all of the traffic laws. You're fine. No, definitely stop. Definitely stop.
Don't do that.
Good for you, Thomas.
Yeah, congratulations, Thomas. That's great.
That's one of those incredible just moments for him, right? I mean, 3 years not driving. Good for you, Thomas.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The question is, what do you do at the yellow light? Do you put the brakes on or do you put the gas on?
It's been 3 years, Thomas. Take it easy. Be cautious. Carnivore Cat has a question. If you want to use stevia, monk fruit, erythritol, will it kick you out of ketosis?
I think stevia and erythritol will. I don't recall about monk fruit, but I don't recall for sure.
I think the only exception might be allulose. Everything else may have to a certain degree. I buy allulose with monk fruit in my house because my wife likes the sweeter tasting. I use allulose by itself. For me, it doesn't have a sweet taste. And if you can do without it, it's better.
Yeah. You're muted, Kerry.
We lost your volume, Kerry.
Sorry about that.
Audio.
Trouble losing fat, eating 80-20 fat to protein ratio, also falling out of ketosis, maybe too much protein, weight is 185. How much protein? I see 1 gram per pound, but that seems to be too much for me.
I was in a big stall for several months, and I did join Coach Lisa Pickart's program. And I have broken my stall using her approach, which is varying the macros from day to day. And the body can kind of gets used to what you're doing and goes, okay, you're trying to lose weight. We'll do it for a little while. And then it's like, I'm on to you and we're going to stop. And so varying it definitely helped me, and incorporating some fasting into it. Initially, before I started her program, I was doing OMAD, and then I added a really hearty breakfast, and that actually did start things moving in the right direction. But I think the variety is probably going to be more key, is to keep your body guessing. And I don't know, Renee, we've had this question before. Do you have any thoughts on that?
So I am also in a stall, and I haven't gotten my stall to quit yet, but I did just join a new program for 3 months, and it's doing exactly the same thing. We do different macros from like week to week, and different fastings and different lengths of fastings. So I'll let you know how it goes. So
Yeah.
far, I've lost 0 pounds.
I have lost 10 since I started. And also I've lost 2 pounds of visceral fat. And usually it takes me about a month to lose a pound of visceral fat if I am steadily losing. And it has gone down a pound each week. And I think it's the fasting that's been the key. And we did a 1-day fast the first week, a 2-day fast the second week, 3-day fast. I'm on day 2 of a 4-day fast. This is the 4th week. And yeah, so the visceral fat, absolutely, the fasting helps, and then switching it up. Keep your body guessing.
Has anyone here gained weight on a 500 calorie a day diet? Okay. Me too. Okay. After losing, and that was, anyways, it was the HCG diet. If you ever done it, I think I lost 40 pounds, but then I started gaining on 500 calories a day. So your body doesn't, we use calories probably because we lack a common understanding that better explains the energy balance of our body. But your body gets used to whatever you're doing. So variation definitely helps. And sometimes you don't, you might decrease the fat, eat leaner for a day or two, go back to adding some fat, and that change sort of confuses a little bit the body, who doesn't want to lose fat. We are not whenever we lose fat, not only fat, weight, your body says, wait a second, what's going on? Is there a famine? Let's conserve energy.
All right. We have a question from Melissa B. Any recommendations for specific videos to send people new or interested in carnivore to help them learn more about it?
I have a favorite go-to video now that it's Dr. Chafee, and he interviewed this doctor who did a full PowerPoint presentation. It was so amazing. He covered everything you could ever want to know about the carnivore diet.
Do you remember what the doctor's
I'm
name?
looking for it right now. I'll find it and I'll post it in the chat. It's gosh, I feel like I saved it. So I'll find it. I'll post it. But yeah, it was amazing. And Dr. Chafee is so good with his interviews. He just lets people talk. And but this doctor was just like, man, he had done his research, and his presentation was incredible.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh yeah, I'll post it. It's definitely worth watching.
Dr. Chafee did a really good one with Rena too. Rena interviewed him, and answered every carnivore question. If anybody asks me, I tell them that's the video to go to, because he answers everything that there is.
I found it. It is it was from 1 month ago. The title is Medical Lies Exposed. It's from 1 month ago. So it's fairly recent, and I'll still go ahead and share and post it.
There's Dr. Barry's got one, Carnivore Diet Basics.
Mhm.
That's a really good video too. I recommend to people for interested in carnivore. If they're just interested in they're trying to still get inspired. I always tell people, try to find a video or a story from someone that they can relate to. So if the person you're trying to inspire, maybe they have type 2 diabetes, send them someone that overcame type 2 diabetes, for example.
I usually send people Kerry's 30-day or 60-day videos too, because it's very inspirational too, with just all the incredible changes he experienced that quickly early on. And I always find that one very, very motivational. So do a lot of people.
Appreciate it. Marion Allen, question, is it bad to be a lean mass hyper responder?
Probably not. The jury's still out with that. So far, all the evidence is positive. Of course, the critics always, the first thing they are going to tell you is, oh, your cholesterol. And you can tell them, I reverse diabetes, hypertension, reflux, and you can go down a whole list. Oh, but your cholesterol, you're going to have a heart attack. But it's a very interesting phenomenon. And so far, all the studies, or the few studies that are being done on that, are positive regarding very low carbohydrate diets.
All right. Maggie, what are the best steak or meat knives to buy?
Sharp ones.
Ooh,
Ashley.
that's a good one. I don't have one available to show, but yeah, I love those ones that we've gotten for our meetups. Are fantastic. I forget what they're called though. Don't have it available.
I don't know if you guys watched the Bearded Bushers.
Mm-hmm.
I invited them to be with us in our meetups at 5 a.m. or whenever. Unfortunately, they declined. But I've been watching them for years, and I have the exact same knives that they use, like 99% of the time. I got those knives. And I've been meaning to do, I think I talked to Ashley about this and Adam about doing, I'm going to title it Grease, Cutting Boards, and Knives or something like that in the carnivore diet.
Yes.
Does it matter whether you use serrated versus non-serrated knives?
If you have a good sharp knife, then no, you should use a straight edge. It'll tear the meat less. But what happens is a lot of people dull those knives, and then they start trying to saw it with a dull knife, and that'll really tear it up. So if that's the case, it's better to use a serrated. But serrated is always going to tear your steak up a little bit more.
So sharpen your knives.
But having a sharp knife is absolutely
Sharp knife is
Yep.
it makes your steak taste better. I don't know why. It does. It glides through it, and you just think you have the most tender steak out there. So it makes any steak softer.
It's part of the experience to have a nice glide through the meat.
And if you're like Dr. Baker, you have a big, huge 4-inch, 6-inch, 12-inch knife that you cut your steaks with.
But you still have to sharpen them.
Chris has a question. Renee, I have an appointment to see autoimmune neurologist. I may have CIPD after seeing your interview with Dr. Chafee. May ask if you fasted. How long did you eat beef, butter, salt?
I did beef, water, salt for 90 or 60 days, and then added only back in butter and shrimp and a little bit of bacon. That's it. So I don't eat any more than that. I have never fasted for longer than 36 hours. That I'm having some hormone issues and I'm afraid of messing up my hormones too much. So the longest fast I've done is 36 hours. But most of my healing was in the first few months with just beef, water, salt.
All right.
And that is one of the conditions where you might want to try to be in ketosis longer or higher levels, all neurological conditions.
We're going to be doing a drawing any minute now for Healing Humanity shirt. Hashtag ribeye. If you have any other last minute questions, post them now. Here's a question for Lynn. Hashtag ribeye. Lynn, with your beautiful kids' books, will you turn them into book sets? One comes out every year. Hoping that made sense.
Well, we're going to make sure they're coming out a lot sooner than that. Yes. So the answer to that is yes. We have Dr. Berry has asked us to do a series of mystery books. So we have that'll be a set. And then we're also doing a holiday series. So we've already done Christmas, Valentine's Day. I just submitted the Easter one to Amazon. It's in review right now. So I just finished it yesterday. I was a little bit later getting it going. But do we have time for a little sneak peek?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I'll share my screen. Let's see. Let's do here's the cover. It's called The Bitter Bunny Brigade's Bacon Breakthrough. And then let's see. Can you see? And so this is the characters here are easy. They're bunnies and it's obviously it's going to be a book. This is just page by page, but they're Easter bunnies and they're bitter because every year the kids get candy and they're upset and unhappy and can't play. And so they come up with a scheme to add bacon to their Easter baskets with the eggs. And they get into a lot of trouble, but it all works out in the end.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's cute. Yeah.
Love it.
There's also a link in the description below for the Superhuman Power Foods for Humanity, which is one of Lynn and Amy's books. And if you click on that, it'll take you. You can see all of the you can see the other books that are on Amazon right now too. All right. Question for Dr. Nelson. How does the body digest meat, fat, and carbs when ingested together?
Well, the first thing is a pass through the stomach, right? Well, digestion starts in your mouth. As soon as you start chewing, you secrete. The saliva has some enzymes that starts breaking down, and each one has different enzymes that will attack different proteases, lipase, amylase, and each one will take care of each of the macronutrients, basically.
Yeah, and bile helps with fat.
Yeah, the bile absorbs or emulsifies the fat, but once it's broken down, then it can do that and get it absorbed.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Nelson. We have a question from Journey to Health. People always talk about weight loss on Carnivore, but what about mental health? Any opinions on that?
Oh, wow.
Kerry.
Yeah, I would say mental health has been the biggest change for me on Carnivore diet by far, and I would literally trade everything else that has improved just for the mental health improvements. Dr. Georgia Eid has a book, Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind, which is absolutely incredible on that topic, and I'd highly recommend it.
Yeah, and I mean, Adam's healed from a traumatic brain injury, so it's not just mental health, but brain health overall.
Yep, does the body good.
Mm-hmm.
My brother experienced, he started it for weight loss, but was more amazed like Kerry with the depression, anxiety going almost immediately. And then as he got off the carnivore diet for a little while, what he experienced as it came back was really what woke him up to it. I was like, wow, this really is directly has to do with what I'm eating. And after being back on carnivore again, it completely went away. So definitely seen results on the mental health side.
You also recommend Dr. Christopher Palmer's book, Brain Energy. Both those books, Dr. Palmer and Dr. E, they're both Harvard trained psychiatrist.
Absolutely. And even outside of major depression and anxiety, it seems like almost everyone that does carnivore notices some sort of mental change in terms of having more clarity or their cognitive ability improving or getting out of that brain fog I hear over and over and over again, which is pretty awesome. And it's something that most people don't think about. They don't think I'm going to do carnivore to get out of this brain fog because they don't really realize they're in the fog until they get out of it. So it's always kind of a fun thing that happens for a lot of people, sometimes even a couple of weeks into carnivore, which is pretty cool. All right, we got to do a drawing. We're going to give away a Healing Humanity shirt, hashtag ribeye. Share my screen here. All right, here we go. Do we get a drum roll? Adam, we got the drum roll today?
Yep.
All right, let's do the drum roll. The winner of a Healing Humanity shirt in the lower 48 United States is Stephanie Smith.
Hey.
Congratulations, Stephanie Smith. You've won a Healing Humanity shirt. How can Stephanie claim her Healing Humanity shirt, Adam?
Well, Kerry, Stephanie Smith can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway, fill out the form, and Ashley will promptly send you your t-shirt. Congratulations.
Congratulations. All right, we're going to do another giveaway here, and then we're going to get back to the questions. We are going to give away 1 month free on healinghumanity.life, our membership site. It's been going crazy lately. We just got off a call before this, which was crazy. Really, really touching call with a man named Arn.
So good.
He was one of our Healing Humanity heroes. We do multiple Zoom calls throughout the week. We have breaking addictions calls. We have doctor experts on. We just had Dr. Kiltz on last night. We had Dr. Baker on. We had Dr. Georgia Eid on. So we're here for community, and we'll give away one of those. Hashtag life. Please post hashtag life with your best question or comment. And if you don't win and you still need a little bit of community to help you out, there is a promo code in the description below, Life325, and you can get 50% off. Besides everything I mentioned, we also have courses in there, and it's just a big social media community, people supporting each other and sharing updates and things like that. So Life325, make sure you use hashtag life and follow each of these speakers. There's a link in the description so you can subscribe to each of their YouTube channels. All right, the next question we have is from Kaleidoscope Mind. Do you find yourself eating again sooner without beef?
Does that mean, are we hungrier?
Satiated, yeah.
I find beef the most satiating, but it's got to be fatty beef.
Yeah.
I think it's the fat,
I think
honestly.
the fat has more to do with it than anything. I agree.
I agree. The fat.
Yeah. If it's fatty beef, it definitely fills you up more than, lean chicken breast or something like that, for sure. At least for me.
But I don't feel as nourished with chicken as I do with beef. I don't know about you guys.
Same. Definitely the same here with the chicken.
Yeah.
I
Chicken's
smoked
for
up
the birds.
Right. I smoked up a big brisket the other day. I ate a whole bunch of it yesterday, and it was one of the first times on carnivore. I was eating later. I'm like, I'm not hungry anymore. Definitely getting that fat and the beef fills me up. All right, the next question we have, Journey to Health. Can you do low histamine carnivore diet? And if so, can you do it on a budget? Also, what foods would you recommend for low histamine carnivore? Also, what DAO enzyme would you suggest getting?
All right. Yes. The answer is absolutely yes. So my whole carnivore journey has been low histamine because I have mast cell activation syndrome. And so you can go to my channel, check out my video on doing low histamine on a carnivore diet. And it gives a lot of detailed information along with a good resource for looking up histamine, the different foods and the impact of histamine, or if it's a histamine liberator, or if it's something that will compete for the DAO enzyme. Yes, you can do it on a budget, but it's a little more challenging when it comes to histamine issues, because a lot of people that do things on a budget will do ground beef, and ground beef is naturally going to be higher in histamine or producing more histamine because of the fact there's more surface area. Processed meats like hot dogs and stuff, kind of the same. So get as clean as you can, as fresh as you can. And it's really going to depend on how sensitive you are. So if you can handle really fresh ground beef, then that's probably a good route. Lamb is going to be cheaper than steak. So if you can handle lamb, that is also good as far as low histamine. And you can do egg yolks. I would not do egg whites because egg whites are high in histamine, but egg yolks you can do. You probably, until you get your histamine situation under control, you're probably going to have to go a lot stricter, low histamine lion diet. And then the DAO enzyme, first thing I would ask is, do you know that your DAO is slow? You can, if genetic testing can tell you that, if you've ever done anything like through ancestry.com or 23andMe, you can get the raw data and submit it and get a report. I've confirmed I have a slow DAO enzyme. So I use an enzyme called histamine digest, but there's a lot out there. That just happens to be the one that my naturopathic doctor recommended for me.
All right. Thank you, Lynn. Tina has a question. What do you all think of the usefulness of a DEXA scan?
I haven't had one.
It's data.
It's
So if you want to track or collect data, it's good. If you don't have to have one, I always mention that I've had for a while one of those scales with the value impedance, and it tells you, your percentage of fat and muscle and bone, and a lot of information. Cost me $20 some on Amazon. The brand was Fit Index. There are several brands. And I did at Hack Your Health last year a DEXA scan, and the numbers were almost identical.
Yeah. I personally, now from a personal viewpoint, yes, it's useful information. I would love to see a lot of before and afters DEXA scans. So, I mean, the more people that can get like either a before DEXA scan or like early in their carnivore journey, get a DEXA scan and then get one later and show that it helps with bone density. I think that's useful to the world to have that information. So if you want to do it for the purpose of helping humanity, I think it would be a fantastic thing. I have gained bone on the carnivore diet. When I started out on my SMART scale, I was low as far as bone density, and now I'm right in the middle of normal. So I think it's great to be able to share that information with the world.
All right. Keto Mama asks, carnivore ketovore triglycerides are up. Help to reduce them.
That's a good question. Most people on ketogenic diets, the triglycerides will just plummet. I mean, it's most of them just go down. There is no way about it, because triglycerides go up when your carbohydrate intake is up. Okay. There are some people in carnivore where the triglycerides go up. You might need a little bit more investigation and maybe do the fractionation of cholesterol particles and take a whole look at other markers and try to determine where the risk lies, and then decide whether there is medication that can help with that. But that is not the usual thing with low carbohydrate diets, and carnivore is basically the ultimate zero carbohydrate diet. Basically, they should all lower triglycerides, but they are the exceptions. And those exceptions might be because they have some genetic predisposition, and you want to dig into the risks a little bit better.
Bill Knott has entered the building. Hello, everyone.
Hey, Bill.
Hello, Bill.
I got to just shout this out quick. If you guys didn't watch Bill's latest video, you're missing out. The man is outside chopping up firewood. It's crazy. It's just
That's awesome.
crazy. Really inspiring. Shout out Bill Knott, NOTT on YouTube.
So incredible what he's done. What a story. What an amazing man. I can't wait to meet him one day. One day, Bill, come on.
One day he's got to come to one of these meetups.
One of these meetups, he's got to show up.
Soon.
Live and in person, maybe even unannounced, and he just shows up.
With Daisy on a little leash. All right. Question from Corby. How long are you collecting stories before finishing and putting the Healing Humanity movie out? Well, we're almost there. We have just a handful more, if not less, to finish the main documentary. We're filming Dr. Barry in just a couple weeks. We're filming Dr. Baker, so there's just a couple more. But we will probably continue filming, I would hope, forever, because we're doing the series, and there's going to be so many episodes of the series and so many more stories keep coming out. So I imagine we'll keep filming for as long as we can. So thank you for that question. Jody has a question. My heart pounds at night, so I can't relax. Will too much salt cause this? I'm doing a 3-day alternating sardines and eggs to see if it calms down.
I would be concerned. I'd be curious to see how that goes, because there's more than one reason why your heart would pound at night. And it could be, excuse me, it could be dehydration, could be an issue with electrolytes, could be anxiety, stress. For me, it was histamine. And when I backed off of the histamine, it got better. Sardines are higher in histamine. Egg whites are higher in histamine. So I'd be watching to see if it gets worse. If it does, you may have a histamine issue. So it's a matter of investigating and trying to narrow down what is causing it, because it's not necessarily cut and dry. And then I'm assuming this has just started. It doesn't sound like, I don't know if it's something that's been going on, but, as always, there's the concern of, how high does your heart rate get? Is it sustaining at a high level? Are you feeling dizzy, weak? Those are times where you would want to get medical care. Salt, I don't. Dr. Nelson, do you know anything about salt causing it? I haven't heard anything really about being a salt issue, unless it's too much, right?
And too much, and what's the circumstance? Because before I had gone strict keto and then carnivore, salt will cause that to me when I was eating a very high carbohydrate diet. So I was sensitive to salt. Now I have tons of salt. So
now, were you doing iodized salt before and then switched over to like better quality salt?
I was eating everything and anything, and
not paying attention.
I had not realized that the typical iodinated salt has dextrose in it. So yes, I was sensitive to salt in the context of a high carbohydrate diet, but I'm not on a very low carbohydrate diet.
Yeah, just don't be eating the iodized salt. That's not good.
Sodium could be a factor, but someone tells me you have palpitations, let's do an EKG. Let's check your blood pressure. And you mentioned she mentions, I think it was, sardines and egg. Maybe you're doing an egg fast on two of the most histamine producing foods.
Yeah.
So that might be a factor as well.
And honestly, how helpful is an EKG when it only is happening at night when laying in bed? I mean, would it be more like a Holter study?
A Holter will be one of the things that you want to do. Sorry, my grandson just got here. But my wife was having some heart issues. It wasn't a heart, but symptoms. And I bought one of those EKGs that you probably see announced on TV, where you put your two fingers.
Hmm.
They came out. They came out with a 6-lead EKG, which the only thing doesn't give you than the regular EKG is your chest leads, and very very accurate, very easy to. Of course, they have a service for someone to read it to you, and I didn't need that, but uh, you can even do at home. Uh, there are two versions, $99 and 139, 149 is the other one. But otherwise, you would need a halter to see what's going on. If it continues, maybe just changing those, you're doing a fast or challenge with sardines and eggs. Stop it and see what happens.
All right. Huge thank you to Rich LaBoy, gifted 10 Homestead How memberships. Really appreciate that. All of the proceeds we get from the memberships go 100% towards the documentary. And he also had a question. Any meetups near Hartford, Connecticut?
Yes, Boston.
Boston would probably be the closest. Yep. Boston
Yeah,
is June
Hartford-
29th.
Hartford is maybe maybe a little bit over 2 hours from Hartford.
That's gonna be an awesome meetup.
Boston, Rich. I know there's a lot of people that have jumped on since we mentioned this earlier. We have a whole bunch of meetups coming up, and there's a link in the description to our events page where you can register if you want to see if there's one in your area. Thank you, Rich. All right, next question we have. Kimberly asks, how do I find a doctor who is pro-carnivore?
On this
First,
screen.
first ask your own doctor if you want, because some doctors might, if you don't ask, some doctors might be okay with it, but they haven't come out yet. Otherwise, there are databases in some places. Dr. Kilt, the Society of Metabolic Health Practitioners, has some providers. The big ones that you probably see on YouTube, like Dr. Troll, Dr. Cybes, Dr. Ovadia. I'm sure I'm forgetting some right now.
Carnivore coach Lisa says in the chat, she says, keep firing them until you find the one that will support you.
All right.
So
Amy has a question.
I was just going to say there's a gocarnivore.com. I've never been on it, but I just did a search. It says over 800 carnivore, keto, low carb doctors and nutritionists around the world.
Go Carnivore.
Yeah, it's gocarnivore.com. I don't know if it's a paid app or what it is, but there's doctors, and actually there's doctors listed. So Dr. Kiltz is on there.
Dr. Nelson, is your grandson, is it Ricky?
Richie.
My
son, they're both Richard Nelson. My son is Ricky. We call him Ricky. And then the grandson, we call him Richie.
Oh, love it.
Very cool.
Amy asks, I am 9 days into this. Is it normal to sometimes have to push yourself to eat?
Because she's so satiated.
Probably.
You're hungry.
Used to being that satiated. Yep.
Yeah, you got to get away from the mentality of you got to eat 3 times a day, at least. It's
if
like
you're not hungry, don't eat.
Don't eat. Yep. Wait till you're hungry. Yep. A lot of us do a lot of intermittent fasting because we just don't. We're not hungry.
Question for Dr. Nelson. Is there such a thing as too high HDL? My HDL is 124 since doing Ketovore 8 months, up 21 points. Usually a high HDL is good, but I've heard abnormally high can be negative.
From where? So, no, it's probably not going to go that much more higher than 124. But that's great. You're doing great. Yeah. Done. HDL to me has always been, and this before I even got involved in learning about the different perspective. Uh, I always thought HDL was a more important negative risk than HDL ever was, and that is correct. Uh, the higher your HDL, the better.
Thomas, Target Prime Rib, which of you guys will be at the Boston meetup? Because bad news, I will be there.
Looking forward to meeting you.
Yeah.
Looking
I
forward to
won't
it,
be at
buddy.
that one.
Yeah.
Thomas, I think will that be your first meetup?
Yeah, I think so.
Raya asked, do you have to ask a question to win? Well, either way, you just did. So, no, you don't have to. You don't have to, but we appreciate it.
That's a very valid question.
Right.
You do have to go and subscribe to my channel because I'm checking.
Yeah.
And if you don't subscribe, I'm going to tell them not to send you the gift.
Awesome. Another question. Does anyone here eat beef liver?
Nope.
Yes.
Occasionally.
Occasionally, yes. I've got some in the freezer actually right now.
I have some desiccated capsules that occasionally I'll pop some of those in my mouth. I struggle. I know it's supposed to be really good for you, but
it's not absolutely necessary to have it. I mean, a lot of carnivores don't ever eat any organ meal livers. It's okay. It's a high vitamin supplement.
Yeah. I enjoy it from time to time. So I know I'm one of the rare ones, but it actually tastes good to me for some reason from time to time. But
you're lucky.
I couldn't do it all the time, I don't think.
Amber's asking, does it take longer for women to get physical changes than men on carnivore?
Typically, yes, right? Yep.
Hard to, I mean, for me, it's hard to say because it depends on what type of physical changes you're looking to get. And everyone's individual. I mean, in 3 days, my body pain was gone because of reduced inflammation. That's incredibly fast. And, you know, a lot of people will say, you know, it's harder for women to lose weight than men. And, you know, that may be the case, although I've done great with that. But I think it depends on what sort of physical changes you're talking about. You know, if it's weight loss, maybe, but it'll come. You know, I've lost about 125 pounds on the scale so far.
That's amazing. All right. Good questions. Let's see. We're getting there. We're going to give away the Healing Humanity 30-day free membership now. Let's go here. Drum roll, please. So the winner of a 30-day healinghumanity.life membership is Suzanne Goodmote. Congratulations, Suzanne. You've won a 30-day free membership to healinghumanity.life. Adam, how can Suzanne claim her prize?
Well, Kerry, Suzanne Goodmote can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway, fill out the form, and Lynn will send you a coupon code for your free month with Healing Humanity Life. Congratulations.
Congratulations. And like I said, if you didn't win, you still want to get the membership, there's a link in the description below with the promo code, gets you 50% off. All right. That hour went by so quick. We're at the top of the hour here. Adam, Ashley, Dr. Nelson, Lynn, Renee, thank you guys so much. Do you guys want to shout anything out? You got anything coming up?
Well, we've got our national meetup, which is awesome. I wanted to say for anyone who wins the free membership, it is 30-day free membership. it does turn into, if you wish to continue, it's $30 a month. And so if this is a way for you, if you want to help fund the documentary by giving a recurring donation, this is a way for you to do that, to give something monthly to help fund the documentary. But please, when you do sign up, make sure you read the terms and conditions, because that will tell you everything you need to know about your account, and and any sort of information you need to know so that you can make a good informed decision by the end of the 30 days about whether you want to continue. And we certainly hope you will.
Good stuff. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We got a bunch of meetups coming up, as we mentioned. There's a link in the description for that. And we're doing this every Thursday, so come back and join us next Thursday, 6 o'clock Central, for another Thursday night live Carnivore Q&A. Thank you guys so much.
And Yuma, Tennessee is in just 2
weeks.
2 weeks.
Crazy.
Come on out. That's going to be one heck of an event. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.